we can hit the API, get employee by ID, that you already created that API. So we can hit that API and get the data from there itself. Okay. Understand these things, everybody?
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, Sumit.
Okay. So be in touch with me always.
It's our first
Alert.
time learning.
Sorry.
It's our first time learning Angular, so the terms are not. We have to practice a lot. That's why we are learning.
Yeah, practice is important. So that's why I'm asking you, after the session, you have time, you get the time or not? That's why, just you getting the time, so do the seriously, guys. I'm not be a proper person to the give the exact scenario of the market. You all better know, because you are in a employee of a company. You will get, the in market there is a required Angular. Okay. Many of projects are featured in Angular. Okay, now
Yes,
most React.js is not be means it is still there, but small application for that we use a React.js. If you are a giant application, then we go for the Angular. You learn the Angular, you understand the Angular, how it is flow. It is advantage for your career perspective as well.
okay, Sumit.
So please practice it well. Okay, so I have to hit the API, that is a get particular employee. We use a get particular EMP or record, whatever you mention the name as well. But we have to pass a ID, so we can make sure ID, make it as any, and we can hit a method. First, we check which mapping we are using in our backend. According to that, we have to call that method. So if you are using get employee by ID, we using here path variable, and we use a get mapping, means we have to use a get method. So we use this dot http dot get. On that we pass the URL, or we use again modify that URL. We use a backtick operator, dollar curly bracket, this dot base URL. After that we can mention that your API name. So I just copy that API name, that get employee by ID. Okay, just mention it. Okay, I have to pass the ID also in the URL, because we in the backend development we use a path variable. Here we use a path variable. So according to that, we have to pass the data from the URL. It depends on your backend development. If there is that mention that you can pass that data through the URL, you can mention that data. If they mention that you can pass with the help of object, you can make it object also and pass that data as well. Okay, according to backend requirement, you can send that data. So here I want to send the from the URL, so we can use the ID. Okay, now it returns again observable, so we can return that observable. We can call that get particular employee in your detail component. I have to again create here dependency of that HTTP service dependency. We have to create in the detail component. We can create here a dependency injection here, then private service colon HTTP service. Okay, I just quick fix and import it. Now I have to call that here service this dot in the subscribe method. I just call it that, because I get that data param dot get ID there itself. So we can use this dot service dot get particular employee. We can pass the ID. So I can just directly pass that param dot get ID, that method. We can just copy paste and directly send it, because that gives the data as well. I just comment these things. Now it is return observable. We can call the subscribe method. In the subscribe method, we use a first argument is a fat arrow function. Whatever the response is there, we can just we can just check the what response we getting from the backend. We can mention the type any, and it is a fat arrow function. We can use it and just console that data. Console.log, and we can display that response. Okay, so check whether data is received or not. Okay, see here, data is received. Whatever data is there, Gaurav Bide of ID number 58. We get the data from that backend. Okay, if you want to check, we can check another data as well. If we click on the Jayashree Patil, we click the Jayashree Patil, we get the data. See here, Jayashree Patil of ID number 61, we get that 61 particular record. Okay, now this record I have to display in our detail component.